Hey, I'm Adam. This is my man Johnny on the spot. Rock out.
Not pulling my cock out.
I hope not. You better keep that foot up.
This is our man Chuck. He's our guest tonight. He's my cousin. He is also a war veteran.
Yeah.
Show respect.
Iraqi Freedom, I think he said. That's awesome.
Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Operation Iraqi Freedom. Man, I think we're going to have a good time.
Chuck, I hear you went to war.
This is so natural.
Yeah.
Oh man, so military veteran, Iraqi freedom. I couldn't even imagine. I honestly couldn't. It's like I was saying, you can't even imagine. You'd like to think you'd be able to handle yourself good in a situation like that, but you honestly never really know till you're in it, and you were in it.
Mm-hmm.
You were in it.
We got us a real war veteran here.
Man,
Sorry.
that's crazy. I couldn't even imagine being in the military. I could. I don't know. When I was at the right age to actually try to join, I had a bad attitude. You know what I'm saying? I could easily see myself going back off on a drill instructor, but probably getting my ass beat. Yeah, probably getting my ass beat. No doubts to it. I'm not a big dude, but I didn't have the right attitude. I didn't have myself together enough to actually be in the military at that time. So, I mean, how was basic training? Pretty bad. Rough as they show in the movies.
Rougher.
Rough?
Well, check this, though. He didn't join when he was 18. Tell him how old you were when you joined.
27.
No kidding. They let you join that way? I thought they had
You
like
can
an
join
age
up
cutoff.
until you're 37 or 38.
Oh. Oh no, I'm 37, almost 38, and I'm
And we're still eligible for the draft, motherfucker.
Yes, basic training was pretty hard. I even cried at one time.
see. I just imagine the image of Full Metal Jacket.
Now, Full Metal Jacket,
Those were Marines, too.
those were Marines for one. But like the obstacle courses that you see in the movie and stuff like that, we had to do the same thing. But when you go from a life of not working out, and then all of a sudden you're working out every single day, running,
Mm-hmm.
all the time, then it takes a toll.
See, yeah, I've been a smoker. You know what I'm saying? I don't really exercise. I can do things. I can do a lot more than people expect for short periods. It's that long run. You know what I'm saying? Where you got to keep going full gear. I know
And
that.
then there's the road marches where you've got all your stuff on and you're marching all day
Right.
from before the sun goes up to when the sun goes down. You're on a march. And you're going over at Fort Knox, they've got hills that'll kill you
Right.
going up them.
Right. Yeah, we're right close to the First Cavalry in Fort Knox. Fort Knox. Why am I having trouble thinking of Fort Knox? We're right close to them. That's the First Cavalry there, ain't that?
No.
No, that's in Texas.
Well, that's First Cavalry 116.
116. Okay.
But the first Cav is in Texas.
Okay, like 111 or something like that. Would it go like
1-7.
1-7 is the first one.
It's in the first Cav, yeah.
Okay.
But 116 ain't part of the first Cav.
They're just cavalry.
They're just another cavalry unit.
Right. Just another cavalry unit. But that's, man, I hear them. I can hear them sometimes. I used to go down there to visit a friend of mine, and I used to hear them at times when
The
they're
big
doing their
booms.
training, the booms, yeah. firing off
Oh,
the
remember when
machines.
we lived in Nelson County?
Yeah,
All the time you'd hear boom and the house would shake a little.
Right.
and those were tanks.
Awesome, awesome. I was in Boy Scouts and we did a little camp out there in one of their fields, and you had the tread marks and tire marks everywhere through the field, like it just sunk right down in the mud.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we got to see. I'm wanting to say there was a truck, and it looked like what I would imagine a supply truck to be, but it had a gun on it. I'm thinking.
Did it have a flat nose? Or a long nose?
Possibly. I don't remember.
If it was
I
a
don't.
flat nose truck, then it was an LMTV.
Right.
That's one of the many vehicles that I drove when I was over there.
Awesome. Awesome.
I was licensed to drive all kinds of vehicles.
And you drove tanks at all, being in the cavalry?
Tanks is a tanker is what I signed up for.
That's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Could be
so
a
the other
tank.
vehicles were just like extra stuff. You had to go run
Yeah.
an errand or something like that.
Yeah. Well, when we were in Iraq, you gotta think it gets real hot in Iraq. It got up to about 148 degrees one day.
God.
And when you're driving rubber treads on pavement, it just melts off. So a lot of times we had to take Humvees out.
Oh man, and that we complain about like 100, 101 degrees here. You know, 140 something,
148.
148. I'd be dead. I couldn't even imagine.
Our bodies aren't used to it. Theirs are.
Right. If you grow up in a situation, your body's
There was
probably more.
There was one time
was
where
better suited.
our dryer in the barracks had broken.
Mm-hmm.
So I washed my clothes and I took them out and I hung them up on the clothes racks. By the time I hung up my last bit of clothes, my first bit of clothes was already dry.
Wow. Well, it is in the middle of the desert. You know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A little sand blowing everywhere. You ever have
It
sand
gets
in your back?
everywhere.
In the middle,
Everywhere.
it is hot in the Middle East. It is no joke. You start sweating moments after you hit the sun.
You see people back in like the 80s, they're carrying around the boom box and stuff. I'd have your own little personal air conditioner. Start breaking down. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You would see a lot of lieutenants and stuff with those little handheld fans.
Mm-hmm.
You'd always see them inside the Humvees with those fans on.
You got air conditioner inside of a Humvee, or you just 50 mile per hour air conditioner?
Most of the time, it was 50-mile-an-hour air conditioner.
Mm.
Every once in a while, we'd get a Humvee. We had one Humvee with air conditioning in it.
And that was probably for the special people.
The lieutenant mainly, and the platoon sergeant would use it. I wasn't on the platoon sergeant's tank or the lieutenant's tank, so most of the time I was 50-mile-an-hour AC.
That's crazy.
And that's all a hot wind, a hot heat too, like a dry heat.
A dry
Yeah.
heat.
It's
That's what I was
dry
trying to
heat.
think of. So you imagine that's worse than living in Texas in the desert,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
or even
But-
the Arizona desert.
I don't know. I've always heard dry heat is not as bad as like.
It's not as bad as humidity.
Right.
Yeah.
Humidity makes it hard to breathe.
Mm.
Makes the air real heavy, all that moisture, the water particles
Yeah.
and stuff in the air. Yeah, so I can see it. I can see it being a little easier.
Yeah, but just think 148 degrees and carrying all that extra weight and all that body armor and shit.
You gotta think spring, summer, and fall, there's hardly a cloud in the sky. The whole time.
Right.
It's only when you hit winter time is when you start seeing clouds and rain.
Is that monsoon season?
Basically,
It's like spring here, just constantly raining, or is it just once in a while?
spring here.
Like get it all done and
It
over with
rains
in
a
one
lot.
season.
Yeah, it
It's
rains
like-
a lot.
We've ignored you all year round. Here you go.
Yep.
Hmm.
And then it dries back up, and you don't see a speck of rain for months.
For months.
Months and months.
And just think we run around here, like run into our cars trying not to get wet. Could you imagine not having that rain? I mean, right now we got so much that we're complaining about. The ground's wet, we're flash flooding. But could you imagine not having that rain?
Can you imagine sewage water in the streets in 148 degree weather?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God, that's
like methane
I
out the
can
wazoo.
smell that. I can smell it as you describe it. That's awful.
That put a bad taste in
I
my
took a
mouth.
picture of a house one time, and right in front of the house was this big field filled with garbage. And it was on one of them real hot days, and you could just see the stench in the picture coming up. It was nasty. You could smell that place miles before you get to it.
I just imagine the cartoons with the green line. You know the green little smoke lines coming off.
Yeah.
It's like you can see it. Oh my god.
That's
Man,
crazy.
And just think, if war ever came to America, we'd end up in that situation. If it came to our area, we'd
Here's
be in
my
the same-
issue.
We'd be in the same
No.
kind of conditions.
No.
Well, it wouldn't be 145 degrees for one, but you'd see a lot of people.
Also,
without
we
houses probably.
well, no, we've got woods.
Mhm.
We've got lots of woods, lots of places where, and not only that, but we know this area.
Mhm.
If you get a foreign person coming over to this area, they're not going to know this area. They're not going to be used to the climate, the environment.
The same thing with us over there. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and we're
Over
with
there,
our
it's a
woods.
culture shock when you first get there because there's so much that's different. You know, their whole way of life is different than ours.
Right.
You know, in our area that we patrolled, it's about half the size of Louisville. There was only one stoplight in that whole area, and it didn't work. They have no traffic laws. None.
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 None. But you didn't get over there at the beginning either, did you?
No, Operation Iraqi Freedom started in 2003.
Right.
I got over there in 2004.
So it'd been going on about a year, give or take.
Yeah.
So you probably you could see.
Now that's not including Desert Storm and Desert Shield, where we bombed the shit out of everything first.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's crazy. So there was a lot of destruction, a lot of. You could probably see the damage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got lots of pictures from that place
Right.
that I took. So yeah, there's a lot of destruction.
That's a shame. It's
It
a
is.
shame that we have to get to that point in times, and I think that's a lot where a lot of the paranoia comes from. It's like, why are we over there? You know what I'm saying? Because nobody, you can't know the situation until you're in it. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, you can't know what it is unless you know what it is. And there's never. I think you said this to me earlier. There's no going back once you know.
Yeah. There's a switch that you have to flip when you go into combat, and that's one thing that's wrong with me and many veterans is we can't flip that switch back off.
Right. And I fully support. We need to look after our vets a lot better because they've gone over to these situations and been changed. Now some come back with scars. You know, you got
And
everything
some
from
physical scars, some are mental.
PTSD to anxiety, and I don't know how to better handle that situation except that we should give our veterans everything we possibly can to help them get forward in life, move in better directions. You know, our local VA, our local Veterans Administration Hospital, the new president, I think it is. I'm going president, chairman, CEO, whatever his title is, the new top guy there. He was actually trying to get involved with local businesses. My brother told me about this. My brother was very interested. He's very strong on helping our veteran population. You know what I'm saying? So many have been left behind, and I think that's a really important topic in the future. You know what I'm saying? And in the current, because
Some people, though, they support it, but they don't want to be around it. The new place that they bought to put the new hospital up at, now I've only heard this through the grapevine, but one of the reasons why they haven't started building it yet is because the area that they bought the land in, the people don't want the hospital there.
Well, that's a whole other challenge, but building the new hospital would be good to have new facilities, but we got to use those facilities to take care of our vets who, I mean, there's a lot of vets who are homeless, you know, and it could be because of scars from their living situations. They don't know how to, they need help adjusting to new situations because of it, and we need to be there for them. And that's why this new chairman, CEO, whatever, of the VA hospital is trying to partner with local businesses to help veterans with PTSD. And I think that's really thoughtful. You know, PTSD and other conditions, I believe, if I remember. It's been a while since I've seen the advertisement for it, but if they could get the new facility, the new hospital, and get it built where they could actually expand their resources, I think that would be an excellent thing for them to expand on, helping our returning veterans who have
illnesses
because of the situation they've been in. And it can even be our veterans that have lost limbs in combat and rehabilitation, and it could be things like PTSD and other things like that. But in combat,
I can't really complain.
really, they've done good for you.
They have done this place, all
this undisclosed location.
Yeah, this undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location. Yes, sir.
You know, I have a certain percentage, and with that percentage of disability, I get a check for it.
Right.
You know, I can't complain.
That's good to know that they've been there for you. That's really good. But
at any moment, well, not right now, not for the next year, but you know, A year after that, I don't know.
Right.
Could
Well,
be homeless.
So are they talking about cutting resources?
No, just being able to afford things.
Right.
You know, right now it's either have a place to live or get me a vehicle. And I need a vehicle real bad to get to my hospital appointments. If the cancer comes back, I've got to be able to go and get my chemo every 2 weeks.
So you've already got your license and everything. You just need the vehicle itself.
Cadillacs are nice, but
The
There.
money.
it's a lot of money for upkeep.
Yeah, they are. And actually, I seen a thing where I want to say it's the Cadillac North Star motor. You know how the starter's usually on the transmission, you can get to it from pretty much underneath.
Yeah.
You know, this one is under the intake manifold.
Yeah.
So you got to take the whole intake manifold off and the whole top assembly of the engine above the heads just to get to the starter to change it if it goes bad.
Yeah, that's how they make their money.
Mm-hmm. You got to take it to a mechanic. They don't want your average person to be able to work on the car.
Yeah.
Or they want to get you held where you don't want to.
That's practically how it is these days with all the newer cars.
At the same time, we live in a disposable society. It's like, oh, stopped working, throw it away, get another. You know what I'm saying? Nobody fixes anything for real. I mean, people fix cars, obviously, because that's an expensive item. Your average item, disposable society. Oh, it's broke, throw it away. It's just broke a little bit. I could easily just tack this back together and it's good as new. Throw it away. And usually it's cheaper. And usually it's cheaper to buy a new one than to fix it. A lot of times, especially if you got to take it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I've seen some of those places popping up. I don't know if we have any here or not, but you can bring your old items in and they'll teach you how to fix them and stuff like that.
That's
For a small
cool
fee.
idea. I think I've seen that, but that's a cool idea. I've seen the little I don't know what it is, shop groups. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of your hardware stores and things like that, your big name ones, actually have little classes there for a little while. I'm going to say I've seen those on the commercials. Teach you how to fix a pipe.
Hell, these days you just get on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
YouTube's amazing, ain't it?
yes, it is.
And you can find anything. You can find. That's honestly how I do a lot of stuff. Anything I need to get done that I don't know how to do, YouTube first.
Hmm.
Google search it. Look for the videos. Videos always on YouTube. Purple Heart. That's crazy. Your Purple Heart. I see it sitting on the table over there.
Mhm.
I like how you set it up too. It's in little rose petal bowl or something like that.
Mm.
That's awesome.
It's like
That's
a
good
shrine.
display. That's a cool display with the knife behind it. I'm gonna have to get a picture of that for the video, of course.
Yeah. But I was gonna ask him something. You want to tell us the story about how you got that Purple Heart?
Well, we were teaching the Iraqi soldiers how to clear for mines, and we were under an overpass, and one of the bad guys shot a rocket, and it hit the overpass, and then 2 mortar rounds hit behind us, and I ended up getting hit from the shrapnel from the mortars.
That had to hurt. Shrapnel. So it wasn't even a bullet. It was shrapnel from one of the mortars that yeah, those things, they fall down, they explode. Grenades work like that too, don't they?
Yeah.
They shoot out things. So they
That's
can
what
try.
that pine cone design is for them, because it
Mhm.
breaks and each one of those shoots out at a different angle.
And mortars do the same thing. So a piece of that hits you. How long did you have to stay in the hospital?
All about 40 minutes.
So you weren't hurt bad. You were hurt, obviously. You got hit.
Well, it took just a nickel chunk of skin off.
Right.
Grazed me.
enough to make you bleed a little bit.
Enough
So
to
you
make me
honestly,
bleed.
So what happened after that, though?
you honestly got real lucky.
Yeah. I was standing like this, and it ricocheted off everything. If I was standing like this, it would have went through
Right. Oh man, just
Where did
imagine
you
a
at?
few inches
in the butt.
and
The
butt.
Forrest Gump wound?
Yeah.
It jumped right up and bit you?
Just like a snake.
uh,
So what happened after it hit you?
Well, the Army ambulance came, and as they were doctoring me up, I had to lean over the hood of the Humvee and had my rifle hunting wherever the bad guys were. I was looking for the bad guys, and they were doctoring my butt up right there on the expressway.
Field medics, you're looking for a sniper while you getting your butt worked on. This,
Yeah.
you just
Because I
man.
had to cover them
Of course.
while they're sitting there worried about my butt. I had to sit there and cover them.
Did you have to get stitches right then, or they just?
No, the wound, I didn't have to get stitches for the wound. It just had to heal up by itself.
Could you imagine that though? Just sitting there posted over a Humvee, you know what I'm saying, looking down, and you got somebody working on your ass the whole time. You're ready to shoot.
Balls.
I mean, did they
flapping
cut your? Did you balls flat? So you had to pull your pants down for it.
all the way down?
Oh man, free balling, ready to pick off a shot.
I was worried about what was going on at the time. I was focused on if I could see them or not.
I feel that.
I wasn't even, I didn't even feel them doctoring me up, really.
Good times.
Good times.
No, it wasn't good times.
You know what I
It
mean?
was some scary fucking shit.
I
Yeah,
believe
but
it was some scary shit.
At the same time, we all seen the movie. You got to meet the president afterwards, showing your butt.
No.
No?
Never met the president in my life. Never met any of them.
That would have been great though if you got to go on stage and he's like, "Where'd you get shot?" Right here.
Yeah, that would have been something.
Yeah.
So you got the $1 million wound.
Haven't seen a bit of money.
$1
Dang.
million? How's that $1 million?
That's what they said in the movie.
Oh, right.
When you get shot in the butt, that's the $1 million wound. Period. That's been going around since the First World War.
No kidding.
No kidding.
And you got it, didn't get none of the money. I guess we debunked that, huh, didn't we?
Yep.
As long as it's not a serious wound, then it's funny.
Right.
You know, the guys in my unit, after it all healed up and stuff, every time we'd go on a raid, they'd smack me in the butt before we'd go out on the raid for good luck.
And they didn't
Right.
say good game.
No, they just smacked me and kept going.
Hey,
They
if
did
it works,
for
don't
good luck.
break it.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, everybody's got their I guess, lucky rituals.
All but one of us made it back.
So you lost somebody that day too.
Well, not that day, no, but we did lose one person, Staff Sergeant Ledesma. He was the only full-blooded Native American on the whole unit. And he's the only one that died.
Oh, that's crazy. Was it like one of them explosives or?
Yeah, IED.
Hey, didn't you say your butt saved your life twice over there?
Yeah, it saved me twice. First was where I got my Purple Heart, and the second was when I was going in to my Sergeant Major's office, and we were going to go over how we were going to get presented the Purple Hearts and stuff like that, and a rocket had hit the building and blew up our sergeant major's office. Well, luckily, before that, my sergeant had walked in and said, "Come on, we got to go to brigade." So I was like, "Okay, do I have enough time to take a shit?" He was like, "Yeah." So 5 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to take my shit, and then we walked up there, and then it happened. If we would have went up there without me taking a shit, I wouldn't be here.
Oh wow, wow, saved by the bell.
I like that.
Saved by the bowel movement.
Oh, that's a hell of a situation.
That's the shit,
it makes
man.
makes you feel like it's one of those whole butterfly effects, predestined. It's like your gut told you that's what it is. Your gut told you something was wrong. It stopped you from going.
Yeah.
Follow your gut instinct. Time to take shit, man.
Yeah, but my colon is cancerous now, so
Sorry,
my butt
man.
saved me those 2 times, but not the 3rd time.
Right. And how's that going for you?
Well, the chemo did its job, and I don't have cancer anymore, but I still have to go to the hospital every 2 to 3 months to get a scan to make sure it doesn't come back.
Right. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about cancer. My grandma had it. My grandmother, she went through treatment and it went away. And I think hers was a brain tumor, if I remember right, because they put the little BBs in her head so they could aim they did the fine point radiation, and they thought they got it, and then it just blew up throughout her whole body.
And it happens like that sometimes.
Yeah,
Smoking
so-
cigarettes will do it to you.
I've even heard if they cut out, say like you got tumor on your side or something, they cut it out and they miss one little root going in, it'll come back and hit oxygen and it'll come back even worse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think our medical industry is kind of advanced quite a bit to
The VA hospitals who did my surgery.
right, awesome, and you're cancer free. That's definitely worth
For now.
congratulations.
Hopefully he
Yeah,
stays
for
that
now.
way.
That was nice.
Well, no, I mean he's even said that to me.
I mean that is the
I
truth.
hope he
He's
stays that way.
Cancer free as of now, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Storm Toker, that was a hell of a concert.
Yes, it was. It was a
Right.
very good concert. I think they were the 2nd or 3rd band when we went to see the Three Charmers.
Right.
Yeah,
That was a good show.
yeah, it was. I'm real upset that I missed Mass Asylum, but I've seen on their YouTube page that they had a lot of they put up some videos from it, so I watched those, and they were really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. I like how he was like on the one for their song "Death of an Angel."
Right.
He was like, "This one's for the ladies."
You used to be in a band, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you told me that. What'd you play?
Bass.
Bass. What was the name of the band?
He's been in a couple of bands.
Dead Machine. Before that, I was in a punk band called Black Coffee. And I can honestly say I was in Artificial Zero.
Awesome.
Because when I got back from the military, we had a show over at Bulldogs.
Right.
I actually saw the video from that show.
That was my last show I ever did. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
But still, yeah, I got to see them. Me and Johnny went to see them at Main Street
Lounge.
years ago.
Years ago, yeah, it was before he got back with them.
Yeah, that was before I got back.
Right.
That was while I was still in Texas.
I didn't know you were living in Texas for a while.
That's where First Cab is.
Oh, right. So I gotta hear more about this. You were in a third world country. What country were you?
Iraq,
Iraq.
Baghdad, the city of Baghdad.
Right. So were you in one of the desert wars, the Desert Storm,
Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Iraqi freedom?
Desert Storm was before 9/11.
There was Desert Storm and then Desert Shield.
See, I don't remember.
Oh,
Desert
that's
Shield.
right. I forgot you said that at 9/11. 9/11 was what made you go in. That's a crazy thing.
I tried to with them at the time, but they wouldn't let me. My knee.
Right.
They said it would blow out. His recruiter literally looked at me when I told him I had knee problems. Said, "Yeah, you don't even want to try, dude. Don't waste your time or ours because your knee's gonna blow out in basic."
Oh wow. I
You
still
shouldn't have
remember.
said anything.
I shouldn't have, but I was
Because
just
you
being
would be
honest with
getting
the guy.
paid right now if you would have kept your mouth shut.
Man, I
Yes.
remember. I remember where I was during 9/11. Man, I just got home from work. You know, I just got home from work, man, and laid down in bed, and the heater repair guy come over. And I remember hearing him walk past my room. It's like, man, you hear on the radio, there's a plane just hit one of the trade towers. That's like, that's crazy. So I turn around, reach up, and I turn on the news real quick, and
That's when
I
the second
watched
plane hit.
I watched the second.
I watched the second one hit because, like I
Nice.
said, I was at my grandma's house sleeping on the floor right in front of the TV. I literally woke up 2 minutes before the second plane hit and was just sitting there, and my grandma was like, "Plane hit the World Trade Center." And I'm just sitting there like, "Oh, okay. That's fucked up." And I'm barely awake, right? Well, all of a sudden, boom, no, whoa, what the hell's going on? I worked night shift, so I was asleep.
Yeah, I was working third shift then too, man. I remember that. So I was ready to go to bed, man. I was working at Greyhound back then. You see all kinds of weird people coming through. Oh man, but
Back to the topic.
back to the topic. Thank you, Johnny. 9/11. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that? You know, you see on these YouTube videos a lot of different conspiracies. You can say it's this, that, and the other.
I've got mixed emotions about it,
Right.
mixed thoughts about it. Depends on what day it is what I believe.
And none of us ever really know.
Exactly.
I mean, there ain't no way we're gonna find out. We can look at everything.
Unless they just, whoever did it actually comes out and shows us the proof of where they did it, and we're probably not going to find everything out.
Right.
Either that or unless another Snowden comes along.
Oh yeah, Snowden. That was crazy. Is he still in like Russia or something, ain't he?
I don't know. I think so.
Right? Man, I couldn't believe it. He put out that I want to say he had found out where they were using like some security national security loophole. If you say you were on Facebook and you had a friend who was a friend who had a friend that was a suspected terrorist, they could go through and watch you for any reason, go through all your public information.
Yeah. Now with that stuff, I understand why the government does that stuff, and I mostly support it.
Really?
All right.
That's the first time I've heard that.
You would not believe some of the shit that we don't know about that goes down.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's people out there that's saving us, keeping us innocent.
See, I can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can feel that. That's really, really. I mean, there's
Because
always
if
that
we-
paranoia of not knowing, but
If we knew, that's like taking the red pill, you know,
From the Matrix.
from the Matrix.
right.
Once you take it, there is no going back.
Right. And the red pill is the one that gave him the messed up reality, right? See, I would be the one to take the red pill. Because I want to know, you know what I'm saying? I would like, if there's something that major going on, I would like to be a part of it.
I've
You know what I'm
spoken with the
saying?
DDS
Well-
guy, former DDS, or DSS, sorry. Diplomatic Secret Service, for anybody that doesn't know. I've spoken with one before, and he's told me what he is allowed to tell me without either one of us being black bagged.
See, he doesn't know how not to break the third wall.
No, the fourth wall.
Fourth wall. Got me. Yeah, but DES guy, he knew what he was allowed to tell you, what he wasn't contracted for.
Yeah, under the National Secrets Act that
Right.
he had to sign
Right.
a long time ago.
I'm sure he had some non-disclosure contract.
Yeah, he had told me what he was allowed to tell me without either one of us, getting into trouble.
Right.
So, I've heard a few things like about Area 51 from him, and things like that. He says aliens are fucking real. They're here. He's like, I don't have to not be able to say that. I believe they're fucking real. They're here. I've fucking seen them. But most people are gonna think I'm a duck bag when I tell them that.
Right.
But he was probably also the most deadliest security guard at the place, and he was the oldest one too.
Right. He'd been through it. He'd already been trained, and this is kind of his retirement without retirement.
Pretty much. The only reason he said he moved back to this state and this city that he was in is because this is where his family was from.
Nothing ever happens here.
That too, and this is where his family was from.
The truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
Do you think they're walking
X-Files.
amongst us and we don't even know it?
Who knows?
I think they could be. I still want to know what's up with Antarctica.
I like that you can see the pyramids there. You see pyramids on every continent there is.
Do you know what kind of freaks me out because of that? If you think about it, look at Alien versus Predator. Where did they go?
They went to a
Antarctica.
pyramid in Antarctica.
And here's not only that, the way they explained why Antarctica was a frozen wasteland was because those ones lost the fight to the aliens, and instead of just going out and letting them take over everything, they destroyed them all by blowing off their little nuclear reactors or whatever they had on them. Well, guess what? Nuclear winter, motherfuckers.
Right. Well, that's from like it coats the whole atmosphere or something like that. Like a volcano, the ash cloud, a big enough volcano, the ash cloud could potentially cover the Earth, and you have volcanic winter.
Yeah. But, I just think that was kind of...
What if they're making the movies to prepare us?
Do you
Before
remember
the
what
day they
we saw in that
capture
one
us.
show I showed you with Tom DeLonge
That's
was
crazy,
on?
huh? It's like, let's implant this in their mind so it's not straight shock and awe when we actually have to release it. Like, it's fucking with us right now that we even know this shit's here. But you give it out to the public. Like you said, Men in Black, a person is smart, people are dumb, something. I don't remember the rest.
You tell 'em what.
Panicky, you know what I'm saying?
Chaos ensues.
So how do you indoctrinate the masses into this new bit of information? You slowly release it through the media, through YouTube, through movies, every platform, and you just implant it in people's brains so that when you actually release it, it doesn't cause just a complete and total panic with everyone. I'm sure there's still going to be people that panic. There's probably no way to stop that. But if you have the masses ready to stop and say, whoa, and not run around, oh my God, it's the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened.
West Bureau Baptist Church.
Oh, did you hear about that? Do you know the band Lamb of God?
I've heard of them, yes.
Well, the lead singer, Randy Blythe, had organized just here recently where Westboro Baptist Church was going somewhere. I can't remember what state it was in, but I think it's where he's located at or whatever. They were going to protest something. Well, he got over, I think, 200 to 300 metalheads to come, gave every one of them kazoos to drown them out with. They did a kazoo protest against them.
Good.
And it was actually all over the Facebook and stuff too. I haven't looked up footage on YouTube yet for it.
Right.
So, but here soon I will.
I'm sure it's out there.
But I was amazed. It was hilarious. Now back to the aliens.
I thought you were going to say, man, him and this church had aliens there or something.
No, I think they could be aliens personally.
Right.
But then again, I don't think they are, but they look pretty fucking alien.
Oh, it could be, man. Have you seen the depictions? All right, like I'm into ancient Egypt, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you got this one pharaoh that comes on named Akhenaten, right? He completely changes the religion into a monotheistic or semi-monotheistic. I'm not exactly sure, but right there, it's going to be the first monotheistic religion. And he depicts himself differently than every pharaoh has had that has been depicted before. You know, scrawny top, scrawny bottom.
You watch Ancient
belly.
Aliens, don't you?
I know. I have seen it. I don't watch it. I watch a lot of other stuff.
Aliens.
I watch.
Sorry.
You ain't got enough hair, man.
Still don't.
It's not there yet.
It's not happening. It's not happening. But you
You
look
look
at.
like a koala when you do that.
But you look at some depictions of royal people in different Stone Age cultures that build pyramids, right? They have the conical head, the long top head, like we associate with binding. They put the binding on the heads, right? There's some that they have that are long, like they've been bound, but they're more naturally formed, and they don't have the cranial suture through the top of the head, which is something all of us have. All of us have. They don't have it. So it's thought that there was another, maybe subspecies, other advanced line of early hominids, or possibly aliens, or they call them the pre-Adamites on some theories. And I don't know what the fuck's true with any of those. You know what I'm saying? But I like hearing other theories that actually have scientific basis, and I've found actual scientific basis to some of this. Not all of it, of course. Some of it's got to be not right. You know what I'm saying? But it's trying to figure stuff out. But you notice a lot of royal Egyptians are depicted with that same conical head. Akhenaten being one of them, with his pot belly and his completely different look than any other pharaoh. Built like E.T. almost, with long legs.
See, here's the thing too. Think about it. In that movie 10,000 BC,
10,000 BC. That was
when he was taken to the capital place, there was apparently 3 of these so-called gods, and one of them just died suddenly. I think 2 of them were dead, and there was only one left, and that was the one in charge. You never see what this thing looks like, but you get little depictions and things. So it gets killed anyway, but you never see what it looks like. It could have been an alien.
Could have been an alien.
Because
could have been another early hominid offshoot.
Exactly.
It could have been whatever. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I'll leave myself open to any plausible theory until I see factual basis. That's the way I look at things. I like to keep it fairly neutral, unless I have reason to feel it's a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I have reason to feel that there was something. What that something was, I have no clue. If you look at the early Inca, right? The Inca were actually just the royal family. And they were different somehow than everybody else. And they stayed within their royal family. And part of the reason the Spanish took over so easily there, something along this line, I read this somewhere, so I may not have it exactly right, is that the Inca were already under a revolution where the people, and I forget what they called them, were killing all of the Inca and revolting against them. So it's just crazy thoughts, but they were supposedly different, and we found these skulls that I was talking about in those countries, and I haven't seen no DNA evidence, but I understand the medical part of the surgical suture. That's where your skull comes together, like how you get the soft spot when you're a baby, you know, and it doesn't have that. So I understand that part. I've seen the formation being different. I've heard that the DNA has a certain offshoot, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen reports that who knows if they're real. They're on the internet. You can't believe everything you see on the internet, but it's an interesting theory that there was something before us.
Well, I mean, if you really look into it, the way we're finding things out now, they're finding things from like, what, hundreds of thousands of years ago now. And they're sitting here trying to say we've only been around for like a little over, what, 20, 30,000 years?
Right. We didn't have advanced civilization till, I think they're saying somewhere around 3000 BC or something like that. And now they've recently found a place called Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah.
All right, translates to something like Potbelly Hill, and it's dating back to 13,000 years ago. You're looking at like 9,000, 10,000, you know, somewhere around the Ice Age. I might get this wrong. Denisovian Ice Age?
I don't know.
Okay, there was like a large ice age, then it got warmer, then it got cooler for a little bit again. And right around that time is when they date this temple to. And that's crazy because there wasn't supposed to be anyone of that advanced civilization at that time. It's beautiful carved rock. There's like a whole bunch of it they haven't even uncovered yet, and they're just saying, oh, it's just a temple complex.
Look at the thing that's off the shore of, what is it, China or Japan?
Japan.
I don't know what's he
Right.
talking about.
There's what's it called? Something structure.
It's some sort of structure that's got a lot of 90-degree angles and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
Okay, now I know what he's talking about. It took me a minute to think about it after, because I didn't remember that it was in Japan, but when he said a structure that's underwater with like 90-degree angles and stuff, I kind of remembered that.
No, I know what he's talking about because that thing's awesome. If you've seen it, it looks like it's got the steps going up. They found statues that look like they used to be heads, human heads with headdresses.
Is this the end, or is this the beginning?